All right, everybody, let's wrap it up. Let's finish up our look at the running backs. It's been a arduous journey. A lot of running backs in this area of the draft, but after this video, we'll be moving on to other positions. Now, technically, we'll have to wait until tonight to move on because we are doing running backs tonight with the Hawks Nest. Tune in for that, by the way. Should be fun. But we're going to do one more set of running backs here, and then we're moving on. So, going to start with Kimani Vidal of Troy University. 23 years old when the season starts. Smaller guy in terms of height, 5'8", but he's a full 213, so that's not too bad. That's a pretty reasonable low center of gravity, actually. Can help sometimes. 30 and 3/8 arms, 9 and 3/8 hands. Tested well. Good testing. Fast, quick, explosive. Pretty good change of direction. Overall testing numbers were good, so made a name for himself at the Combine, and a couple of the big boards really like him. ESPN has him in the 5th round, PFF has him in the 6th, CBS has him undrafted, Database has him barely undrafted by like a few picks. So the guy's kind of walking a tightrope here on whether or not he makes the NFL, but he's got a shot here. Very productive the last 2 years, really broke out in 2023. Almost 1,700 rushing yards, added 200 receiving yards, 5.6 yards a carry, 14 rushing touchdowns. Had a good year in 2022 as well, so been very productive for Troy. And I think that production is the main thing that he's bringing into the table here, but he does have good top speed, and he gets up to that top speed pretty quickly. 1.53 10-yard split, 4.46 40-yard dash is doing it. So this guy, he's certainly a small school guy, but he's bringing some really interesting things to bear. He's got quick and decisive cuts. He loves running around the goal line. His eyes get big when he gets near the end zone, and he pushes until he gets in there. He really, really wants to make sure he gets that ball over the pylon. He's a good receiver out of the backfield as well. So Vidal is definitely bringing some nice things to the table here. Now, some of the issues with his game, he's not a good blocker, which hurts his third down back ability, which would be nice to have because he's a good receiver. His vision and instincts as a runner are not very good, so there's some incorrect decisions he makes. Sometimes he doesn't hit the hole, sometimes he doesn't find the right hole. Doesn't have very much power, doesn't run with very much power, which is too bad because he's got a low center of gravity. You would like that, and he's not that elusive. So he cuts well, and he's got nice burst. But other than that, there's really not too much else here. So I kind of feel like the testing is fool's gold. I don't know. I look at the testing numbers, I look at the way he plays, and I just go, he's fast in a straight line, and he can plant and go. But is he actually really all that great as a prospect? I kind of feel like the answer is no. So I'll take him in the 6th round. Worth taking in the 6th, not before. Next guy is Emani Bailey of TCU. Going to be 22 when the season starts. 5'7". So we're approaching Deuce Vaughn territory here. 202 pounds, 29 and 7/8 arms, 9 and 3/4 hands. So pretty small, a little bit on the smaller side. And he didn't test very well. He has okay acceleration. Everything else is below average. So doesn't really bring a lot of things to the table here that you like testing-wise. His CBS mock draft position is good. He's somewhere around the 5th or 6th round. But ESPN and the database both have him undrafted. He only has 1 year of big production, but it was a good year. He had 1,200 rushing yards, 200 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns, 25 catches, 5.4 yards per carry. So he was good in 2023. Not too much before then. He's somebody who can also make that one cut and go. When he plants and goes, it happens very quickly, and it happens decisively. Runs with patience to set up the run. Knows how to get his blockers into position. Knows how to wait for the blockers to develop first. He's got great running back vision. He sees the whole field when he has the ball. He's got good receiver skills as well. He'll be a good receiver at the NFL level. And he's got contact balance. He can take a hit and keep going because he's got that low center of gravity, and he's hard to actually bring down. Now, he is a little bit of an uncomfortable combination of being undersized and slow. So when you look at Emani Bailey, you see his size and you're like, oh, he must be a scat back, right? He must be a speed demon. And not really. 4.61. That's nothing special at all. So undersized and slow. He's not very explosive, not a very good athlete just in general. He seems like he's a smart player. Seems like he's a guy who maximizes what his talent allows him to do, but he's not a very good athlete. And he does fumble. He has fumbled too much in his career. And he doesn't really create things beyond what is blocked, right? Like, he'll get what's blocked, he'll get what's there, but he's not going to create that much more. He's got good contact balance, but usually that manifests itself in terms of the ability to get a few extra yards. He's not going to be able to make a bunch of people miss or bulldoze like 3 defenders for 30 extra yards or anything like that. So, kind of dull, but I think he'll be an okay third down back. That's about it. I mean, third down backs are everywhere in the league, so it's not even like that's that valuable. So, UDFA, I don't see any point in burning a draft pick on him. I don't think that you would need to get him. Okay, one more guy. Our last running back of the year is Michael Wiley of Arizona, the Wildcats. Could not find his age. 5'10" and a half, 210 pounds, so okay size, 30-inch arms, 9.25-inch hands, so decent measurables. Combine testing was mixed. Okay 40, pretty good acceleration. Explosiveness, meh. Short area quickness and change of direction skills, not so great. ESPN, CBS both have him getting drafted in around the 5th or 6th. The database has him undrafted by a couple of picks. So I don't know if he's likely to get drafted or not, but you can see that he's on the line. He's on the fence. 2023 was an interesting year for him. He had almost more receiving yards than rushing yards, at about 300 on both sides. And the year before that was his best year in terms of bulk stats, 771 yards, 350 receiving yards, over 1,000 total yards. And you can see that his yards per carry dipped massively from 2022 to 2023. It's kind of weird. He became kind of a pure third down back, a pure passing down back in 2023. So he's got power. He runs with pretty good power. He's an excellent receiver and route runner out of the backfield. Like, not only can this guy run basic routes like safety valve, check down, dump off routes, he can run Texas routes, he can run wheel routes, he can do that stuff. So that's appealing. He's a good pass protector as well. So there are some nice traits here, but he doesn't have very good instincts once the ball is in his hands. He doesn't really have a great understanding, a great feel for where the play is going. Doesn't really have speed, doesn't really have burst on the football field. It's just all kind of meh. And he's relatively indecisive in the backfield, it feels like. So Arizona seemed to realize this, and in 2023, they basically just said, we're never going to hand you the ball. You're going to be a receiver out of the backfield only. And maybe that's his destiny in the NFL. I don't know what to make of this. This one's weird, right? They just decided, look, you're not a good enough running back. We're just going to put you in there in third down, passing down situations. And I guess that worked fairly well, but it's weird. He goes from a guy who was a productive running back in 2022 to a guy who's basically nothing in 2023. So UDFA, there are tons of third down backs out there in this draft that you can get who are also good at other things. This guy doesn't seem to be all that good at anything other than catching the ball and blocking. So UDFA, no point in spending a draft pick. And that's it for running backs this year, guys. That's all we got. So let me know what you think down below. That is 27 running backs in this upcoming draft. See you guys later. Go Hawks. And we'll be moving on to a new position after tonight with the Hawks Nest stream. I don't know what position it's going to be quite yet, but it will be something different, something new as we continue to work our way towards having a full picture of everything for the 2024 draft. See you guys later.